Hi everyone, I've got a very important and quite interesting topic for us today on this channel. And I say it's a very important one. That's because it has really affected quite a number of people and it still affects people even till now. So, and if this issue, if not well managed, could actually affect the mental health of people. Yes, that is to tell you how important this issue is. And what's this issue? That's low self-esteem. Low self-esteem. Low self-esteem. Low self-esteem. Okay, before we go deeply into that, if you are new on this channel, I want to say thank you. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. To all my returning subscribers, I want to say thank you. Alright, let's go into this topic. We may not be able to go deeply like that into this topic. That's because it's a very wide topic to discuss about, but we'll just talk about it briefly and little things that happens in childhood, teenagers, like that. That's what we're gonna discuss and see how we can come out of it. Okay, let's low self-esteem. It's actually a negative feelings you have about yourself. Self-esteem in on its own is the view you have about yourself, the opinion, belief, your belief system about yourself. It's the value you place on your life, the what your life worth. That's self-esteem. So low self-esteem is just like the negative feeling, that negative feeling you have about yourself. That's low self-esteem, the long-term feelings that you have about yourself. That's it. And we will actually look at some causes of this thing called low self-esteem. This self-esteem can actually affect it mentally, academically, maritally, socially. It affects decision making, it affects relationship with people if not well managed. That is it. So it influences life. So let's look at some examples. I just want to give some examples and scenarios of what bring up this self-esteem. Okay, let's look into some examples. Okay, let's take for example a person, or let me say a student, a boy whose teacher just enter into the class one day and call him a failure, probably because of the failed exam or failed test, and the teacher concluded and called him a failure. Probably he got home and the same thing was said by his parents too, probably because of the results he brought home. All he had ever knew in his life is failure. Nobody has ever celebrated his small wins. All he had ever grown to hear in his life is failure. Definitely when the child grows up, it definitely affects the mental life of that boy. There's nothing good that the boy can actually lay his head on and will believe that he will actually be a success, because he has actually grown up to see failure in itself. That's number one. Another thing is a female child that is being born into a family who has preference for male child. She might not see herself as very important because of what she has been exposed to. She has been exposed to an unloved environment, unworthy environment, and like that. So as a female child, you are being born into a family whereby they don't like female. All they were expecting in their life is male child, male child, male child, male child, and it just come up like that. In fact, they may not even see any good in the life of that female child, and that affects the mental life of that female child. The female child will grow up to see herself unloved, unimportant. Even among peers, she may not be able to relate to her because of what she has been exposed to. That's another thing. Another thing is a person or a child who has seen parental divorce, and who's probably the people that surrounded him have failed marriages. He has seen parental divorce. Just imagine. He may actually grow up and even decide that he's not going to marry. And if you ask why, don't you want to get married? Like, because I will have failed marriage because of what he has been exposed to. That's another thing. Another thing is a girl who has experienced sexual abuse, probably a rape or any other form of sexual abuse. She might actually grow up and not see any good in herself. She might actually hate herself because of that scenario that happened to her. She may actually grow feelings of hatred to every man that comes to her. That's because of the kind of situation, the kind of things that has happened to her early stage of her life, which was not well managed. That's to tell us how far this issue will actually go. So how do you see yourself? That's the question. How do you see yourself? When you look into the mirror, do you see an ugly person in you? Do you see a failure in you? Do you see a person that cannot make it in yourself? What do you see yourself to be? How do you see yourself? When you see yourself as an ugly person, you feel inferior. It affects your relationship, it affects your decision. You cannot do things. You are afraid of failure because you have been called failure in the past. I want you to look into this. And one of the ways that you can actually come out of this is just look around you. Look around you. Who are the categories of people? What are the categories of people that surrounded you? Do you surround yourself with people that have experienced failed marriages? Do you surround yourself with people that think they are not beautiful? Do you surround yourself with people that feel like they cannot make it in life? There are a lot like that. There are a lot of things that actually cause low self-esteem. There are a lot. A person who is disabled may actually feel inferior. For instance, when he or she is in the gathering of people who are physically able, because of the situation, because of the condition that he or she is in. So I want you to look into the mirror. What do you see when you look at yourself? What do you see? Do you see a failure? An ugly person? A person that cannot make it? A poor person? What do you see? This will actually go a long way in your life to influence every decision, to influence every action. It will influence every relationship that you will be entering into. If you are watching this and probably you have experienced this, you have also suffered this low self-esteem in the past, and God has helped you to come out of it, I want you to drop into the comment section what are the things that you did that helped you come out of this. You may actually help someone. Or are you actually suffering any form of this low self-esteem? Maybe your own is not even mentioned. We'll still discuss further into it later. But maybe your own is not even mentioned. Which one do you want us to talk about? You can leave it in the comment section. Don't forget, share with people. This may not apply to you, but there is someone beside you that is actually suffering in silence. Let's help them. Thank you for watching. God bless. See you next time.